Yesterday, after we
Don't we all agree?
We desperately need the bridge.
No way. No bridge. It'll lower the value of my property.
The bridge will help get our kids to school with less danger, quicker, and back home before dark.
Crime, riffraff, smog, and pollution, noise is what the bridge will bring.
Nobody agrees with you. You're out of touch.
Listen, everyone I know is against the bridge.
In a nation that's supposed to be united, it's sometimes hard to imagine that we don't always all agree.
Everyone wants the bridge.
No one wants the bridge.
My legislator better vote right.
American democracy.
Don't we all agree?
Learn how you can make American democracy stronger. Log on to www.representativedemocracy.org.
The police called after midnight when they caught our son at a drinking party. It was a real wake-up call. A policeman suggested we try Al-Anon family groups. I didn't want to go to a meeting, but I'm glad I did. Are you troubled by someone else's drinking? You might be surprised at what you could learn in an Al-Anon family group from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-AL-ANON or go to alanon.org.
Today on this beautiful day, we're at Dunkin' Donuts, 50 Bisterfield Road, and we are doing our annual Cop on the Rooftop 2024 in honor of Special Olympics, raising money for Special Olympics and the athletes that participate in Special Olympics. Today is a beautiful day, so I'm hoping we'll beat last year. This is going on from 5 a.m. till 12 noon, and this is going on through the whole state of Illinois. So come on by and stop by or participate in Dunkin' Donuts and help support the athletes of Special Olympics. QR code is brand new this year. It goes right to FOP Lodge 35, on which we donate to Special Olympics. You can always go to the Special Olympics website and donate. You can always go to our QR code and donate, and we'll make sure that that money gets where it needs to be going. Because of you, we're able to help this great cause, and thank you so much.
FSHD is one of the most common forms of muscular dystrophy. It's a degenerative disease that weakens muscles in the face, shoulders, upper back, and legs. FSHD robs you of your smile and makes simple tasks nearly impossible to perform. FSHD affects hundreds of thousands of people, but most have never met another patient. Many have not even been diagnosed. Someone you know may be living with FSHD. Let them know they are not alone and that we're making real advances toward a treatment. You can help by going to our website, fshsociety.org/curefshd, and share the photos and facts about the disease using the hashtag #CureFSHD. By simply raising awareness, you could change someone's life and help us get closer to a cure.
Go to vettix.org to become a member now. Vettix, give something to those who gave.
The crowd seems a little loud on our end.
Alrighty, good evening everyone, and welcome to senior night here at Elk Grove High School. Should have a good one on the docket tonight between the Elk Grove High School Grenadiers and the Maine East High School Blue Demons after a thrilling 3-set match during the JV match with Elk Grove becoming victorious. And once again, happy senior night to the 5 seniors who have been recognized here by Elk Grove High School. And my name is Brian Carter. Alongside me, Brian Syring. Brian, should be a excellent match here tonight.
I'm very excited. You know, anytime it's a senior night, it's really good. Seniors always, the whole team likes to rally around, get a good performance. There's a lot of fun, energy in the stadium or in the gym tonight. I guess we should take an opportunity to give a shout out to our seniors tonight. Yeah. We have Isaac Padua, Jacob Maxwell, Jayak Gabur, Alex Ortloff, and Jacob Grizik. And so a special shout out to all of them. We'll definitely be giving them some call outs as the night goes on. So Brian, what are you looking into for tonight's match? We have Grenadiers 5-22 on the season, trying to get something started before we go into the state playoffs. And the Blue Demons only with quite a few games less, only currently 9-10. So what should we look for tonight?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just leaning on your key hitters. And for Elk Grove, it's obviously going to come through Alex Ortloff, who's been leading the team in attacking, both in kills per set and in hitting percentage. So as you get deeper into the season and trending towards the off season, whether it be regionals, sectionals, if you make it to state, whatever it may be, you have to rely on your key hitters and your key seniors that are mainly the makeup of your lineup. And for Maine East, it's going to just be to try and continue to build wins. This is honestly true for both programs. Just continue to build wins as the season moves on. So definitely a crucial matchup here as we are just on the cusp of May and toward the end of the year, and should be a good one here tonight.
As far as our previous results, not a whole lot of overlap between opponents between these two teams. This, of course, is a non-conference game. Both teams have played Hersey, and both teams lost to Hersey. Let's see, Highland Park. Both teams also fell to Highland Park, along with Niles North, Evanston, and Elmwood Park, and Maine West. So not a whole lot to tell between the records here. So I guess we'll let it be decided here tonight.
Yeah, let the volleyball speak for itself. Yeah, as we said prior, just a big match for both these teams as they turn the page and try and get a win and turn back into some in-conference wins, but should be a good one here this evening.
And as we get started here, we have the Elk Grove Grens in their green and gold, with Maine East Blue Demons wearing the white with blue.
Sam Ungar gets things underway for the Grenadiers. The float serve done by Zuniga. And a roll shot over for the Grenadiers. As Valera chooses the outside. Orloff first swing just a bit wide, so a quick side out for the Blue Demons.
Maybe just a little excited there for senior night.
Yeah.
Line, put a little too much power in that.
I like the idea of the set. Go to your main hitter. Go to your guy who's been getting you most of your kills so far this season. But just a little wide, just a little too excited, as you said, Brian, as that serve is into the net.
Number 14, Benny for the Blue Demons. And just like that, we're 1-1 with Elk Grove with the serve.
Yep, trading side outs to start. And we also have a pair of substitutions for both teams. Jacob Maxwell checks in to serve for the Grenadiers, senior defensive specialist. His serve handled by Dang. Outside set. Big dig out of the back row by Valera. The Grenadiers just have to tip that over. Blue Demons, all options go through the middle, and a big kill for Maine West.
Now, looking at the positioning of Elk Grove on that one, it looked to me, and I'm going to defer to your expertise.
Sure.
They gave them a lot of open space on that side over there. Did they collapse too much, or is that the proper strategy on a play like that?
So typically when you run when you have options like that with a sort of free ball, as Patel tips that over, Blue Demon scrambling, typically when you have a a free ball such as this gives your setter options. You choose the outside, no block is there, and a kill turns into the play. So when you have a free ball and your setter has all options, you can go to the outside, through the middle with a quicker speed set, or to the opposite, and even some programs run through the back row. It's hard to react defensively to where the setter is going to make the move. So the middle blockers as well as the defense in the back row just was unable to cover that middle attack, as there's another good swing through the opposite.
So essentially it's you have to pick and commit to a defensive strategy and hope that you don't give them the opportunity to pick out the weak spot.
And that's something that a lot of coaches teach middle blockers, is when they're going through the middle, you have to watch where the setter moves, and any tells is that swing, again, just a bit too long for Artloff. You have to be able to react to the way, and some setters have tells whether or not if they jump, they might be more likely to set the middle. If they stay grounded, they might be more likely to go to one of the two pins. And that's something, so it's those split reactions for these middle blockers as well as the pin blockers on where they're going to go and commit to the block. So Ortloff gets things underway on the serve with the Blue Demons leading 3-5 now. So again, just both teams not really establishing themselves, able to go on a run. A lot of traded side outs here early in this contest. We have another substitution.
Patel checking out for Benny. And look like Zuniga back into the game.
That was Tristan Julian on the serve through the middle. Be able to dug by Julian. Now Tran has to just move over to the outside, and Dang able to find the seam in the block and get the kill. So the Blue Demons starting to go on a little bit of a run here early in the first set. It's the lefty Julian gets things back underway. Now Ungar goes to the outside, and a big swing and a kill for Patel. So he gets his first kill of the night.
Let's see if Elk Grove can go on a little run here. I think the most anyone has had is 2.
Yeah, well, you got a good service back there. Able to handle it was the Blue Demons. Looked to be someone in the net on that play, but our up official did not see anything, and the Blue Demons get the quick side out right back.
And that's unfortunate.
Yeah, just a bit out of position on that dig attempt as that ball is blocked, but we play on. Nice cover by the Grenadiers. Orloff tries to send the roll shot over, and catches the top of the tape and falls back down on the Elk Grove side. As Maine East finds themselves just a little bit more comfortable in this match after trading blows to open. Now through the middle, that was Christian Lasik. Can't get the kill. Now on the outside, that ball looked long, but Valera keeps it in play. Now the Grenadiers unable to scramble and send it back over, so 9-4 advantage for the Blue Demons. Stank serve dug by Valera through the middle. Lasik unable to find the floor, and the Blue Demons can't quite send the free ball over, and a much needed side out for the Grenadiers.
A little extra help from that ceiling light coming down pretty fast. A good effort by Dang keeping that one alive, unfortunately, for the Blue Demons. And fortunately for Elk Grove, back at the serve.
Every volleyball player knows the ceiling is the #1 enemy of the player. It's a nice cover out of that tip, but the Gren's unable to pick it up. And again, a quick side out for the Blue Demons. So that sends Tran back to the line. It's a float serve dug by Patel. Now Gabor on the outside, and seems to be a net violation on that block. So the Grens will get the side out. I believe that was number 14, Benny, who was just a bit too antsy on that block and ended up like a tuna in the net. So that serve is long from Ungar.
And Elk Grove just really struggling to find any rhythm at the line there tonight.
Yeah. That's especially as you get more advanced in your game from junior varsity to varsity, eventually if you play in college. Because that was Ungar who went to go make the play on the set and just crossed over the center line. But as I was saying, as you tend to move up in the college playing, in the volleyball playing world, serve and serve receive becomes absolutely crucial and is really the backbone to how you operate as a team. Gives you many more opportunities to attack, such as this from Zuniga. Good block. Good dig by Patel. Now on the outside, Outlaw unable to get the kill. Now the Blue Demons just have to send it over. All options for Ungar. This quick set through the middle. Another dig. And the roll shot into the donut results in a kill for Zuniga. So just able to roll it over the block after that. Probably the longest rally we've seen tonight so far.
Yeah, and as we go into a timeout, what are your thoughts here? 13-6.
Yeah, Brian, as you mentioned, the serve receive and the serving definitely been the key distinguisher between these two teams. The Blue Demons seem much more solid in their formation on the serve receive, and the Grenadiers just really unable to get any momentum on the service line. So if they want to see the tides change in this opening set, they'll have to start to piece together some more solid serving while keeping it aggressive, because you don't want to just send over loopy serves that are just an easy, essentially a free ball for the Blue Demon defenders to have options, all three options.
Absolutely,
at the net.
yeah. Then you're just going to be digging it out all day and not going to get many points that way.
No, yeah, it all just stems from how you're able to receive the serve, and then everything else from the play stems from that. So as we're out of the timeout, it's Patel for the Blue Demons who will serve. As the float goes down the line, dug by Gubor through the outside. Outlaw able to find the seam of the block and get the much-needed side out for the Grenadiers. But a nice-looking swing there for the senior.
And a good use of the timeout by Elk Grove's coach. Probably just getting him to calm down a little bit. Ortloff had been overpowering quite a lot of them until that point and came up with a very needed kill.
Right, yeah, as you mentioned, a lot of energy in the building tonight with senior night, so probably a little anxious. The adrenaline is running for these players. There's a free ball opportunity from the Blue Demons, a miscommunication out of the back row. And Elk Grove will take that point and run with it.
Absolutely.
That was DiMano and Tran on the miscommunication.
And let's see what Elk Grove can build off of that. Sometimes all it takes is a little bit of luck.
Right, exactly. And one thing, too, that's I've noticed more about volleyball than almost any other sport is it is so hard to gain momentum in a match. As Outlaw takes a swing and is able to get the kill.
And now he's dialed in a little. He's dialing that in, and that's back-to-back for him. That's
right,
fantastic.
Exactly, yeah. He's really able to get that, really snapping over the ball, on top of the ball as he's going on that attack through the opposite. Just before, he was just overpowering it a little bit, maybe not getting quite on top of the ball, as he certainly has the height. There's an ace for the Grenadiers. Jacob Maxwell with the ace. And all of a sudden, Elk Grove's within 3.
And let's see if he can build on what I think is the longest run of the night for either team.
Certainly it is. It's a short serve handled by the Blue Demons. Go through the middle, and a nice response by Maine East to get the side out.
As our friend Chris would say, there's the announcer's jinx.
Exactly, yeah. Big announcer's jinx believer I am, at least. I've had that happen to me several times before. Zuniga serves down the line. Trouble here for the Grenadiers. All off just with the roll shot. Oh, nice set to the outside. Patel able to handle that tip, but it just goes over, and Maine East able to slam down that overpass.
And a nice heads-up play there. Just had that red all the way.
Yep, and it was smart, too, because when you have an overpass like that, you could get antsy at the net and just want to slam that thing down to the ground as hard as you can. As that was almost over on 2, but a big swing out of the outside for Zhang and a huge kill. And now the Blue Demons growing their lead once again. But as I was saying, when you get those overpasses like that, it's easy to just go up and put a big swing on the ball, want to send it through the floor almost, but smart to just swipe it to the side with two hands. As Otlof's going to try his luck down the line and gets
There's
the kill off Tran.
And now he's feeling it.
Yep.
I think that's three opportunities in a row that he has just absolutely put it down.
Yeah, unloading on the ball now. Ortloff, 2.5 kills per set, hitting at a team best 184 this season. So, as we mentioned in the opening, the Elk Grove offense has to revolve around him, especially as the season winds down. As that tip able to be covered by Patel. Options now goes back to Patel, a bit outside. He's able to advance the ball, and now through the back row, Zuniga, nice dig out of the back row by Maxwell. Now Ortloff on the opposite, and he is able to get the kill off the block. So big-time defense there by Jacob Maxwell, the senior, able to keep that point alive for the Grenadiers.
Yeah, you love it. Couldn't come at a better time. Like you said, it's hard to get the momentum, and that just takes the air out of the room for the Blue Demons.
Exactly. They start second-guessing themselves as they go up for attacks. Is that dig by Tran? There's a little bit of miscommunication again as the setter was calling for help, and that was Zuniga who didn't quite hear him call for the help, and a timeout for the Blue Demons. So Elk Grove started a little sluggish as both teams were trading side outs to open the game, but slowly finding their rhythm here in the middle of this first set.
And here you go. Here's a good opportunity to really flex those artistic muscles. Chalk it up to character event. Grab your chalk and turn the community's sidewalks into encouraging, caring, and respectful art with the Chalk It Up to Character event. From May 11th through May 17th, residents, students, businesses, schools, churches, and not-for-profit organizations are invited to draw family-friendly pictures, sayings, and words of good character on the sidewalks right outside your buildings. Snap a picture of your artwork and send it to chalkituptocharacter.ccc@gmail.com. For questions, contact Tammy Miller at millertammy660@gmail.com.
Sounds like a lot of fun there.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to taking part of that.
So we are ready to get back underway as Valera serves. Blue Demons converge through the opposite, in a big swing. And another side out after a timeout.
I was just going to ask that question. Two good timeout opportunities. Is that what do you think is going through the coach's mind at that point, or as we have the serve here?
Well, a lot of it just depends on the feeling of the match. As that ball rides the tape from Lasik and can't find inside the court. Back-to-back points for the Blue Demons, but those timeouts really just come at a time when you're feeling in the match, so you might feel the momentum slipping away from you, or maybe the server's just going on a big run, a couple of aces, and Patel's able to get that tip to fall for a side out for the Grenadiers. But again, those timeouts, it's really kind of almost an art form to it for the coaches.
Absolutely.
Trying to feel out the game and see when their players maybe need a pick-me-up and to talk things over. As Ortloff serve is handled, and the outside is a big swing from Zhang.
And he has been having a great first set here, really working that outside.
Yes, I could say he is jumping out of the gym on that outside, and the Grenadiers just a little late to close that block, so they're giving him a big seam through the block between the opposite blocker and the middle blockers. Ortloff's going to try his luck through the back row and gets the kill over to the announcer's table.
Well, I won't say it was perfect for him, but it got the job done.
I'd agree. Got the ball back into play. As Patel looks ready to get things underway, the sophomore outside hitter. Tran able to hang on, and Dang gets the tool off the block. So seems to be a battle of the pin hitters so far. Dang for the Blue Demons and Ortloff for Elk Grove.
That'll be a fun one to watch tonight.
Dang serve handled, and now on the outside is Gubor. Can't quite find the sideline, But a smart shot. Just has to refine it a little bit.
Julian for the Blue Demons able to pull up just in time to not get a touch on that one, too.
Yeah, it's so hard when you're covering the tip behind the block as the Grenadiers have to scramble. Now the Blue Demons have free ball options. Goes to the outside. down the line and just missed on that sideline.
Ooh.
Wow, that swing had some heat to it from Zuniga. Wow.
And that was, who was on the edge there?
Defensively?
Yeah, defensively was that.
I believe that was Ortloff.
Ortloff, I believe, too. I don't know if it was heads up, a good reaction, or what, to keep out of that play and let it go out of bounds.
I'm sure he'll tell you he saw it the whole way, but
I'm sure.
I'll tell you what, that swing had some zip on it down the line. But that swing previously into the tape, so Grenadiers continue to fight their way back into this first set, but running out of time here. So that pass is over the net. And Maximilian Surma able to just tap that down into the donut defensively. And just like that, 18-21. If you're head coach Peter Min of Maine East, you're just happy to trade side outs, but Elk Grove looking for more. Is run through the middle is a kill for Winowski. That's his first kill of the evening. As Teddy Tran gets the serve underway, Patel able to handle that easily. Options for the Grenadiers down the line. Nice swing, but an even better dig. And the free ball off the roof. Options again for the Grenadiers. This time unable to find the floor. Now Zuniga on the outside is blocked. Nice cover, though. We play on. Free ball opportunity now for Elk Grove. The back set, Orloff out of the back row. Unable to find the baseline. Now 23-18.
If you're Elk Grove in this situation, what's going through your head? Looks like we're getting a timeout.
Well, that was certainly going to be my first point I'd make. 23-18. You don't want to wait until 24-18. That's just digging yourself a little too deep of a hole. So talk this over. Probably run through about how you want to receive this serve and who you're going to after that. I'd imagine it'd be the senior Alex Ortloff, who's been the spark of most of the offense, but someone who's been sneaky on the outside for Elk Grove, who I also believe is in the front row, is Darira Patel. So this is the nice thing, especially with Ortloff being in the back row. You have a bunch of options. Also, something that we haven't seen yet tonight is the setter, Sam Ungar, going over on two. That could be sneaky, especially if the the receive is tight to the net.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, though, it all boils down to what we see here in the serve receive as Tran gets ready to resume play. The serve is short. Patel able to handle the dig, but it goes over the net. Now options for Julian. Benny unable to find the floor. Now the Grenadiers look to counterattack, and a swing down the line, and a huge kill for Jacob Gabor. It's the middle blocker was a bit late to cover, and Gabor had everywhere in the cross court to swing.
And another side out after a timeout.
Exactly, yep. The coach is making good use.
Assist to their coach.
Yeah,
put an assist on the coach, Pat Hennelly, and a big ace. So this first set is far from over. Sam Ungar with the ace. Now a big point of note for the Grenadiers is Max Ortloff back in the front row. Julian sets the middle. Valera unable to bring it back, and now it's set point for the Blue Demons. And looking at this from the entire set, as we get a substitution here for the Blue Demons. Number 5, Patel coming in for...
I believe that's Benny, who's taking a seat.
Yes.
It's Patel's tricky serve, and he gets the ace to close out the first set. That ball had some movement to it, a nice float serve from Patel.
And as we go into the break here, Elk Grove seemed to grow in stronger as that set went on. What would be your takeaway from that, as they kind of seemed to fall behind quickly at the beginning, and every time they closed the gap, they couldn't quite overcome that initial slide?
Well, as recency bias would argue against, that last point there, serve receive unable to come up with a reception. But I do think that their serve receive shored up a little bit, and they were really flexing their offensive muscles with not just trusting Alex Orloff, but going to both pins as well as running through the middle. And that turned into a lot more kills for them than previously in the beginning of the match, where they were really unable to find the floor, and the Blue Demons were able to just capitalize on the mistakes and take a first set lead.
So what do you think we'll look for our second set here? Obviously, Elk Grove's going to want to push this to a third set.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is keep establishing yourself on the offense. I'd like to see some more sets through the middle, as Lasik has had some looks, but hasn't been able to quite find the floor yet. But
we've yet to see a real long run at service. So anyone you have your eye on that may be able to go on a long run for either team?
Well, Jacob Maxwell had a good-looking run in the middle of the set for the Grenadiers. I like him in the back row to come in and provide some pressure from the service line and maybe be able to get the Blue Demons out of system and be able to help the blockers out in the front row.
All right, well, as we go into the second set here, just want to take an opportunity to tell you the Elk Grove High School class of 2025 graduation ceremony is set for May 21st at 7 p.m. You can watch it live on EGTV. The entire event will stream on Facebook, YouTube, and on EGTV website, the EGT website at eg-tv.org. You can also catch it later on the EGTV on-demand site. And what I've been told is, weather permitting, it'll be held outside, and that's usually a go-to. Many, many years ago when I graduated, that was always a big discussion on whether or not they'd be able to have the graduation ceremonies outside.
Oh, okay.
It never happened.
Yeah. Well, that's better than the graduation ceremony I got as the class of 2020 for high school.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Mine was all messed up. At least our school was able to come up with a little something, but
Was it on Zoom?
It was not on Zoom. It was in person, and it was in the auditorium, and each single graduate would walk up to the stage, get their picture taken, mask on, and that was about it. But I guess it was better than nothing.
Well, and thankfully here, we're all here now and able to enjoy some Elk Grove varsity boys volleyball.
It really is. It's the best time of the year. It's the best time of the year. Boys volleyball, it's especially in the state of Illinois, it's so competitive. A lot of people don't understand just how big the game is in the Chicagoland area. And I would almost argue that maybe other than California, it's one of the biggest hotbeds of men's volleyball. So Ortloff unable to find the back row once again. But a lot of D1 products come out of the Chicagoland area as the two D1 programs, of course, Loyola, Chicago, and Lewis, have a lot of local talent as that serve is into the net. Now Jacob Maxwell checks in to serve for the Grenadiers. He replaces Jacob Gabor.
And senior Jacob Maxwell up at the serve.
There you go. It's a nice serve, pulls Julian off the net, has just one choice, easy dig. Now options down the line, and that ball drops on the Blue Demons side of the tape. So a big kill for Alex Ortloff.
And I'm thankful for the hand signals by the referee, because that happened so fast I could not tell from where we are.
Yeah, our vantage point, it was a little tough to tell. I was not sure if that was a straight down block or down the tape on the Blue Demon side. Maxwell unable to steer that to the setter position, and now Julian has to scramble to put a set up. Bit chaotic this point, and a block.
Ooh, and despite the tremendous effort by Tran there to save it, Elk Grove jumping out to a 3-1 lead. That was a fun volley back and forth there.
Yeah, that was quite an interesting rally. Kind of players scrambling all over the court trying to save the point, and it ends up being a block for Maximilian Surma. And now that passes over. Patel asks for Ungar, and now Ortloff down the outside. The opposite. He gets the kill. He's up to 2 kills in this set already out of the 4 points.
Yeah, and I would say they go to that play with him getting in from the right, far outside on the right. That seems to be their go-to play to set up Orlov.
And normally the opposite, your best, so we have a substitution, so we weren't quite ready to get underway. Jacob Maxwell just wants to keep proving me right, as I pointed out in between sets there, that he could be a likely candidate to go on a run. But as I was saying about Alex Ortloff, there is a foot fault on the baseline. You don't see that every day. But Ortloff, being an opposite hitter, is a bit unique. Normally a team's best player will be on the outside, on the left side. But Ortloff, still as a righty, solidifying himself in that opposite position, as now Patel's going to give a swing, and Demano unable to handle that one, just got overpowered.
Yeah, I was going to say absolutely overpowered, and you could tell he was caught in a position. Which way do you go, up, down?
It's tough, especially when you have just a split second to make that decision on how you want to play that ball. It's tough to really tense your fingers enough, as that's a big kill out of the outside for Zuniga. He gets his first kill in the second set here, but to your point, when you're trying to make that dig out of the back row, especially when it's coming cross court like that, you don't really have much time to decide whether you want to do an overhand set for the dig or use your platform. And when you do opt for the overhand, as Patel just said there, you really have to tense up your fingers. As Ortloff able to get the kill through the seam of the block. That was a nice set by Ungar. He fooled the block of Maine East and had Ortloff basically out there one-on-one. His serve sails long.
Substitution for Maine East, Usman coming in for Tran.
Usman in the middle blocking position. Ungar pulled off the net. Ortloff out of the back row. Maine East unable to come up with the dig, and right now in the beginning of this second set, I have to say, it's the Alex Ortloff show.
Yeah. Other than a little too strong on the serve, he has been having a fine set.
Been the main point of attack for the Grenadiers, and a nice serve by Patel over the net. Gabor was unable to put that away. He's going to get a second opportunity, and a smart play off the block, just guided off the hands of Julian. Gets the kill. And now the Grenadiers shaking that sluggish start in the first set, jumping out to an 8-4 lead here in the second. As Patel continues his run. Dug by Dan. Now Usman out of the middle.
Oh, that is unfortunate. There's not much you can do about that.
Nah, who put that divider there? I mean, that was a great dig. That was going to be right on top of the net for Ungar to set. Have a bunch of options, but the partition in the gymnasium just keeps it on the side. And
we'll have to go over to City Hall and pull the building records and see who the structural engineer was on that one.
I think all of the Grenadier fans out there would like that, as a double contact is called on Julian. Now some substitutions for both squads.
And the JV Gren's getting into the spirit of things, getting some much needed energy back into the building as the varsity team goes on a nice start for the second set.
Zhang, excuse me, that was Dang with a monster kill out of the opposite.
And Maine East will not be silenced, their fans either, and that is quite the way to respond.
Wow, that was an absolutely monster swing out of the opposite. He was all alone out there, just goes cross court and absolutely hammers it. Almost a bounce ball and out through the middle. That is Surma who's able to respond.
And Dang has been having a very good game so far for Maine East. If
Yeah.
there's two players to watch, one for either side, it would be Orloff and Dang so far through the second set.
As Dang takes the seat as the defensive specialist for Maine East, that is Demano comes in. Now options to the outside. Zuniga just a bit wide on that cross-court shot. Now back-to-back points for the Grens. Sam Ungar's serve drifts long. So Maine East will take the side out. Now Tran will serve the libero. That's something also that a lot of people don't know is when in high school and below, the liberos can serve for the two teams, both in men's and women's. And then once you move up to the collegiate level, in the men's game, the liberos can no longer serve for the middles or whoever they're being the defensive specialist for. But in the women's game, you can still have the libero serve. So something that a lot of people don't know.
I didn't. I appreciate it. I knew you could in the women's game. I didn't know that in the men's side you could not have that anymore.
There is a double contact once again for the Blue Demons, and Coach Min of Maine East will call timeout.
A well-timed one, and he's been working the timeouts and the substitutions very well, really taking the wind out of the sails for Elk Grove anytime they've been up on getting a little bit of a run going.
Yeah, it's been well-timed timeouts. We've had side outs after all 3 timeouts we've seen so far, I believe. So
we'll see if that breaks this time.
Yeah, that trend to continue is to be determined. But a much different start here for the second set for the Grenadiers. The offense, the attacking, especially through the pin hitters, has been much more poignant, and the serve receive has really cleaned itself up as well. So the Grens take the floor, followed by the Blue Demons. But once again, both teams coming off a loss, looking to get back in the win column tonight.
And Elk Grove's had a little bit of success recently. They strung together a couple of wins in a recent tournament, which has been their most successful point of the season. And they are coming off of a tough loss from Hershey just the other night. What is it going to mean for the team? Get a win tonight here on senior night, getting towards the end of the season.
It's all about momentum and building confidence towards the end of the year. As Ortloff's going to have to try and cut that into the inside. A nice dig. It's that swing. I believe that's Julian on the swing. Yeah, it's into the tape. But it's all about building confidence and building momentum. And the thing about volleyball is you hear this thing so often in sports like football, or it's any given Saturday. If you have the right momentum, the right players on the floor, and players feeling confident in their ability to put it together a solid match, it really could be any given night where you could see a big upset. So it's all about just building that momentum for the Grenadiers. As Julian goes over on 2, it's snuffed out easily by Ungar. Now Ortloff on the opposite, and he continues to add to his kill tally.
And despite what looked like good positioning to get that block, he just powered through.
One thing a lot of coaches will tell their blockers is you always can press. You got to press your hands over the block, as there's an ace for the Grenadiers. Jasper Valera gets an ace. But a big point, as you were mentioning, on the block is you can't just put your hands straight up, because if you do that, it's just going to fall right down the net, as we saw a little bit earlier in the set. You have to make sure that you're engaged in pressing your hands over the net to seal off the top of the tape. Send the ball back on the other side. That's served dug by Maxwell. Now on the outside, Patel with a big rip. Great play by Tran to keep that ball alive, but a block by Lasik, who is just waiting there in the middle.
And he made it look effortless.
Oh, yeah.
But that's all about positioning.
Exactly. Right place at the right time, as cool as you'd like. But a great second touch by Tran to keep that play alive. It was almost a reverse pancake up in the air as Dang has a swing on the outside, and he gets the kill through the cross court.
And Ortloff trying something a little different on that serve, just getting it over in play.
Sometimes that's all you need, especially if you trust the defensive capabilities of your teammates. Is that tip from Patel handled. Now Dang once again on the outside, and back-to-back kills for Dang. And he's just a junior, folks, so another year of Jason Dang on the outside for the Blue Demons, making his presence felt in this match, certainly. Now Gar chooses Orloff in the back row, covered by Patel, and now a nice play by Julian just to go with 2 hands on the outside of the block, get the kill, and now a 3-point run for Maine East. Patel, nice pass and options. Lasik able to get the touch off the block. So a huge side out.
That is big because that was into the next gym.
Yeah. And I didn't really see if there was too much of a touch there, but clearly enough for the R1 to call it.
And he's right there, so
definitely a better view than you and I. As Dang once again through the outside off the top of the block and drops just in front of Patel. So a quick side out for Maine East.
And a substitution for Maine East.
That's Benny re-entering.
And Patel taking a rest.
Seems as though that Maine East is running a 6-2 as that set is over the net. And now Benny out of the opposite gets a big kill between the antenna and the block from Gabor.
And Elk Grove's going to need to watch it here. They had quite the lead, and it is slowly starting to shrink.
So now Gabor looks to answer, and that ball is sent straight back down to the floor by the Maine East block. And now the Blue Demons are within 3. And
that's what I was just going to say. It looks like a perfect opportunity for a timeout.
Yeah.
While we're in that timeout, Revelation Golf, first responders and veterans can sign up for golf clinics sponsored by Elk Grove Village and provided by Revelation Golf, a not-for-profit organization here in Elk Grove that serves the military and veteran community. Clinics teach the game of golf while reducing stress and enhancing camaraderie. They run April 24th through May 29th from 6 to 7:30 at the Fox Run Golf Course. To register, call Revelation Golf at 630-253-7703. Space is limited. Now, Brian, you were saying that you played golf. You're a big golfer.
I am, yeah.
Have you played? You probably played at Fox Run in Elk Grove here?
I believe I have. I might have played in high school, but that was a little while ago. But yeah, big golfer. It's been tough though so far to start this year. It's been super windy a lot of these days, but hoping to get back out on the course soon. So we're ready to get things underway. Nice pass by Valera. Options DeBoer out of the outside and
another side out.
Yep, a big side out.
Big side out.
Out of the timeout. And again, miscommunication for the Blue Demons.
As Elk Grove takes their substitutions, getting ready for the serve is senior Isaac Padua.
Padua, the lefty, trying able to handle that serve. Now options goes to the outside, and once again, like clockwork, Dang able to just find the cross court and put the ball to the floor.
Let's see, as is the reverse from the first set, Elk Grove probably happy to trade serves here and side outs to get through to the end of the game, or excuse me, to the end of the set. But
Dang may have other ideas.
Yep.
So here's an outside swing. Dang able to come up with the dig, and now Tran just has to send the free ball over. Ungara options, goes to the outside. Gabor, there's a collision at the net.
And what's the call? I believe they signaled point Elk Grove, but I think we're checking to make sure everyone's okay.
Yeah, it was,
the last thing you ever want to see at any level is an injury, but particularly in high school.
So that's Benny, who's walking off under his own power, but is limping. It's good to see him on his feet. But the point does go to the Grenadiers.
And it looks like Coach Min is looking for an explanation as to what, and any idea here?
Well, it seemed to be that, my guess would be that the referees deemed that the ball was already dead before the contact at the net and before the player crossed over for Elk Grove. So they awarded the point to the Grenadiers, and now a free ball opportunity for Elk Grove is Ortloff out of the right side, unable to get the kill, and now the Blue Demons with options. This is Zuniga, who gets the top of the tape shot to drop. And now it's 22-17 as Tran heads back to serve as the middles for the Blue Demons rotate in and out. So the float serve has some movement to it. Tough for Valera, and now Elk Grove has to send the free ball over. Julian with options, goes through the middle, and a big kill for Maine East.
And tightening up once again here.
Tightening up. These are two very evenly matched opponents in this non-conference match, and an ace right down the 1-6 seam between Gabor and Valera, and a very timely ace for Maine East.
I don't think you could have fit a dime between that ball and the top of the tape.
No.
I did not think it was going over, and possibly Elk Grove didn't either.
Elk Grove able to handle that serve. Now Ortloff through the seam of the block, and
that's a way to respond.
That is a way to respond, especially nice swing from Ortloff as that set was just a bit outside the antenna, so Orloff kind of had to contort his body to get that ball back on the right side of the antenna, and finds the seam of the block and able to power that into the cross court. Now Jacob Maxwell for the serve. And a free ball as DeMano sends it over. Valera able to handle. Now to the outside. Patel off the block and down. So a huge couple of kills out of the outside for the Grenadiers.
And Maxwell at the line again, who had great successes last time at the serve. So if you're Elk Grove, you're in the position here to try to end this set just a bit outside.
Just a bit long there. It's getting a little excited. Thinking about playing that third set, but still work to be done here in the second for Elk Grove. It's Patel readies to try and get things back underway, and now one option Patel, and that ball is roofed by the Blue Demon block. That had no chance of going over. It's Patel. If you're Patel in that situation, you just got to shake it off, move on to the next one, and stay aggressive. The biggest thing. And an ace. That ball looks like it just clipped the baseline.
Must have been close from our angle. We don't have a good view at that back corner. So viewers at home will have to write in and tell us.
Yeah.
The call on that one. And there is the expected timeout.
We are all knotted up at 22 here in the second set. Of course, Maine East taking the first set.
All right, where's the momentum right now?
Well, the momentum is starting to shift toward the Blue Demons side, I'd say, just after that block and then an ace. Those are two big plays to have back-to-back, and if I was Coach Henley of the Grenadiers, I would mainly be telling my players, hey, we're still in the set. We side out. We have a 23-22 lead. We push two. We push this match to a third set, but at the same time, you want to just take it 1 point at a time. It all starts with sticking this pass on this serve from Patel. So a big moment here, and I'm especially curious to see where Sam Ungar goes with this set. So we're ready to get things back on our way again, all knotted at 22 here in set two. It's a serve. It's dug by Valera, and now Ortloff on the opposite is housed once again.
And they had lined up. They had him in his favored position coming in from the right there, and Maine East just was reading that. They saw that coming.
They were right there. I'm sure that was brought up in the timeout. Now they'll opt to go through the middle. Nice cover out of the back row by Maxwell. Now Ortloff will try again. He's able to cover his own swing, and now a free ball for Maine East. Options for Julian, goes through the middle, and a big swing and a kill for the Blue Demons. And out of nowhere, it's match point.
And absolute credit to Maine East. They had at least an 8-point deficit at one point in this set, and Elk Grove hoping to keep it alive.
And it all starts with Patel out of the outside. Now a battle at the net, and Julian able to swipe it off the hands of Patel and down. And Maine East will walk out of this gymnasium victorious in a sweep over the Grenadiers of Elk Grove High School.
And that final thoughts on the game.
Well, I was really impressed, to be honest. I haven't watched high school volleyball in a little while, but I was so glad to be able to be on the call tonight. And I was mainly really impressed with Alex Ortloff and Jason Dang out of Maine East. Man, Jason Dang was just really unloading on that ball, and it was especially impressive because he was able to do it on the outside or the opposite on both pins. He was really making it happen for the Blue Demons.
And both of those players at the right time stepped up for their teams to get them out of some jams, extend the game, and lots of credit to Maine East. Did not give up on this second set. It'd be so easy to sit back and say, well, we'll get them in the third.
Right, exactly, yeah. And as I was mentioning, that momentum with it being so hard to grab, I was really impressed with the resolve that the Blue Demons showed, and they walk out of here with the win, and now we'll move to 10-10 on the season, and an impressive 5-4 road record in Elk Grove.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Elk Grove dropping game at home tonight, senior night. Again, we will give a shout out to all of our seniors from Elk Grove: Isaac Padula, Jacob Maxwell, Jacob Gurr, Alex Ortloff, Jacob Grizik. Hopefully a night to remember with the beautiful banners up here for senior night. And join us. EGTV's next game will be Monday, May 5th with varsity softball versus Conant, my old alma mater, at 4:45 p.m. Watch the game live on Comcast Channel 6, Facebook, YouTube, or on the EGTV website at eg-tv.org. There's also a link on the website to the on-demand page, so you can watch all the games at a later date and time. So, once again, final thoughts as the season begins to wrap up for the Grens.
Well, it's tough loss here this evening, but again, it's just on to the next, and you got to stay focused, and especially for the seniors as they might be thinking about what their next steps might be in life and where they might be next year. It's all about just getting back to practice the next day and staying focused, staying with your team through the ups and downs, and just trying to keep battling for a win. The Grenadiers certainly have the talent to rattle off some wins into the final stretch here of the season.
Well said.
Thank you.
So, this is Brian Siring.
And I'm Brian Carter.
All right, good night from everyone at EGTV.